What is up everybody, I'm hoping you're all well, and it's now time to review the latest adaptation of a Stephen King novel, that being Pet Sematary. The original Pet Sematary, released in 1989, although not holding up as well today, was still a fairly enjoyable movie. I understand why some people maybe didn't like it. I personally saw it as a kid, I thought it was okay, not generally terrifying, but an okay film. This remake, much like the It remake, is far better, but it does have some issues, so let's talk about them. Sematary. So, Pet Sematary is the latest remake and also reboot of Stephen King's novels. This movie stars Jason Clarke as a father who's moved from Boston with his family to a remote sort of woodland area where he's got this whole acre of woodland for his family to run around in. However, somewhere in this woodland there is a pet cemetery where families have been burying their pets for generations. And when he learns that further past this pet cemetery there's also a sacred burial ground which has some sort of supernatural powers, strange things start happening to him, his family, and horror ensues. And like I said, while the original not great, is still a fairly enjoyable watch. Again, I only watched it when I was a kid, I don't remember much of it. The only things I really remember is the Achilles cutting scene and the main like big truck incident. And the first thing I love about this movie is it plays off the expectations that audiences will have having seen the original. If you've seen the original, you know basically how the movie's going to go, but the movie does play with you on that. And in doing so, it builds the tension really well in certain scenes where you're expecting certain things to happen. It changes things in a certain way that I think personally was for the better. They developed characters a little bit more. It made sense as to which character was going in which direction, which character was going down their certain arc. While the first half of this movie is essentially exposition, it gives you everything and explains it all, much like you're actually reading a guidebook. The second half of the film is where the filmmakers really get a chance to shine, showing the more horror elements of the horror side of this movie. Much like other horror movies though, it does fall into the same basic tropes of jump scares, and there are some jump scares in this movie that are generally just sort of there for the sake of having a jump scare there. However, what this movie does really well, like I said, it does build the tension really well. It builds the suspense, it does get you on edge, it sends chills down your spine in certain scenes. Especially with the storyline involving the mother, played by Amy Seimetz, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. The storyline revolving around her, especially around her backstory and stuff like that, is actually quite terrifying. The children in this movie were also really great. I'm going to be very careful how I speak here, just in case you haven't seen the film or haven't seen the trailers or anything like that, because the trailers do give a little bit too much away. But the actors do a good job in this movie, and the actor that has to play the sort of resurrected evil version of themselves does a really good job as well. John Lithgow as Judd I thought was fantastic, although he is essentially just an exposition machine in this movie. He's here to explain the way things go. However, he does bring a lot of the heart to this movie as well. Unlike Jason Clarke's character who plays the father, I thought his character was just a little bit too boring. Don't get me wrong, he gives a fantastic performance in the movie. However, the material and fleshing out of his character I didn't think was as well done as it should have been. With the way the movie was going, it felt like it was going to focus more on the mother's side of things rather than the father's. But when it does get into the second half of this movie, that's when Jason Clarke's character really does come out a bit more. And while this movie, like I said, does build suspense really well, especially helped along by the score for this film, which does help in the scenes that it needs to. It definitely enhances the experience of the viewer as you hear the score building up to a more tense and climactic moment. As for issues with the film, as I've said, the first half can be a little bit boring, as it is just a little bit more of exposition rather than actually going full-blown horror. But the second half, because they've already got that exposition in the first half, really does stretch itself into becoming a really enjoyable horror film. It has some genuine scares here and there, it builds suspense really well. And while the ending of this movie does have me torn a little bit, I'm not sure if it's the original ending to the book. I know it's not the original ending to the actual film, or the film before this film, but I did have a good time in this movie, and I can recommend it to you guys out there if you do love horror movies. If you do love the first Pet Sematary, then you probably love this one. If you didn't like the original Pet Sematary, then I can say that this movie does improve on it. Personally, much like It, I think it's one of the better remakes that we've got in recent years. Yeah, while a few issues, still a really good time in the cinema. Definitely has you on edge, builds suspense really well. The score's really good, the directing was really good as well, especially in the second half. So for all those reasons, I'm going to give Pet Sematary 3 stars. So, Pet Sematary, have you guys seen it yet? What do you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section below. Which do you prefer as well? Do you prefer the original Pet Sematary, or do you prefer this new one? Again, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks as always for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all in the next video.